What's up, everybody? This is Colin from Holistic Heritage Homestead. I hope you're all well. There are conversations that preppers should be having that are tough conversations. These are the types of conversations that people understandably try to avoid. If you have been prepping for any length of time, if you have shared your preparedness goals with people, you have probably heard people hit you with the statement, well, I'll just go to your house. And what they're saying is that if SHTF happens, if things get bad or, worse because things are already not so great, folks, that they will just go to your house. Now, that's a problem because it's our job as preppers to make sure we communicate, and we communicate clearly, thoroughly, and well, and that other people, including family members, know where we draw the line in the sand. The best way to have that conversation, in my opinion, is to approach from a place of trying to help people, trying to educate people, trying to encourage and motivate people to prepare. And that could start off like, hey, let's pretend you're talking to Uncle Johnny. Hey, Uncle Johnny, I've been really concerned about current events and the state of the world, and I'm really concerned about the possibility of war. I'm really concerned about, maybe Uncle Johnny is aging. Maybe you're concerned about Uncle Johnny being financially prepared. You're concerned about Uncle Johnny being safe. Maybe he lives by himself in a bad neighborhood. Talk to Uncle Johnny. Let Uncle Johnny know you're concerned about Uncle Johnny, that you have concerns about the world and certain things that might happen or certain things that are already happening that might get worse. Then encourage Uncle Johnny, if he's not already prepping, assuming he is not a prepper, encourage Uncle Johnny to take steps and try to teach him how to do that. That could be a small part of Uncle Johnny's discretionary income budgeted for preps. That could be you telling Uncle Johnny you're going to teach him about prepping. That could be you telling Uncle Johnny, where to find some great information about prepping, where Uncle Johnny might be able to find some great resources. Connecting Uncle Johnny to a prepping network or a MAG, a mutual assistance group. Trying to help Uncle Johnny. If Uncle Johnny is not a prepper, and Uncle Johnny refuses to prep, well, then you have to understand. You have to understand that it might be, the best thing to do might be to step back and let Uncle Johnny know that you will not take care of him if things get tough. Now, folks, I'm not saying to abandon family members. I'm not saying to abandon friends. A big part of prepping is prepping so that you can take care of your family and others, and maybe even people in the community you don't know. For sure. That's a big part of prepping. But there's only so many resources, folks. There's only so much water, so much food, so many safety tools that can go around. And if people are not willing to take care of themselves, or they're not going to be accountable and think about prepping, well, at a certain point after you try to educate them and motivate them, it's on them. Now, for those of you who are laughingly, against prepping, which I don't know how a person could be against prepping. Seems like prepping is just a natural thing to do. Wanting to survive, it's a natural thing. But for people that might be against prepping, think of it this way. If it comes to finance, you would say that if somebody, makes money, and they spend all their money and they do not steward their money well, and they never invest and they never save for the future, and they don't do things that are wise with their money, well, that's their fault. At the end of the day, it's their fault. Sure, there's environmental factors, there's unforeseen circumstances, there's uncontrollable events, but at the end of the day, at least to a certain degree, it's their fault. Same thing with prepping. So yeah, approach from that type of standpoint, that stance, trying to help, trying to educate, trying to motivate. And if you're already being hit, let's say you're talking to Uncle Johnny and you don't get to that point to try to approach him that way, and Uncle Johnny just hears that you've got some food, that you've got some livestock, that you are doing certain things to make sure you and your family members are safe, and Uncle Johnny just wants to tell you that he'll just go to your house. Let Uncle Johnny know that either he is not welcome to go to your house and that he should prepare on his own and take care of his own family. Or if he is welcome to go to your house, that there are certain rules. Now, people can prep for years, decades, and for some strange reason, never had these conversations. And it's horrible because they're setting themselves up for failure, because if things do happen or continue to happen, the Uncle Johnnies around the world are going to show up to your homes. Don't get it twisted. And even family members, when they're hungry, when they're thirsty, when they're sick, when they're desperate, can do horrible things. That's reality. I'm not trying to be negative, folks. I'm trying to be honest with you. So let Uncle Johnny know, if you are willing and you have the right to make your own decisions, within your home, you have the right to, make decisions for your family, what's best for your family to keep your family safe. Maybe you don't want anybody to show up on your property. Maybe it's a small property and you have limited resources to begin with. Sorry, Uncle Johnny. I'll do my best to help you, but it's on you. Let's say you have extra resources or maybe some property, and you let Uncle Johnny know he is welcome if things get bad or worse. I would highly encourage you folks at that point in the conversation to let Uncle Johnny know that there are rules. And now I'm not talking about, ambiguous rules or just general guidelines. I'm talking about specific rules that you folks should, let people know. Family members, friends. And when I say family, I'm talking about family outside of your home. Everyone in your home, your family in your home, and whoever lives in your home, you are a team, you are a unit, a functioning unit, and you have to have teamwork. I'm not talking about the people in your home. I'm talking about anybody outside of your home. If you have family, children that are older and they live outside your home, well, I assume you would welcome them into your home. That's, for most people, probably just obvious. But if you're talking about, not your husband, not your wife, not your children, maybe not your parents, then you really need to start to consider who you will let into your home in those types of scenarios, who you will let onto your property in those types of scenarios. And certain types of rules, like for example, certain rules might be, well, Uncle Johnny, you are welcome to come to our home if war happens, if you lose your job for a period of time and you've gone bankrupt, or if you get sick, or if there's a depression, economic, serious economic problems, then let him know, okay, if he's welcome, then let him know he's welcome. And if there are rules, let him know those specific rules. For example, Uncle Johnny, you are not welcome into our actual home, but we will set you up. You can live in our shop. You can live in a cabin that we have. Depending on the weather, we can give you a tent, whatever. Uncle Johnny, we have only so much food. We will have to ration food. We will help you, but don't expect filet mignon every day. Don't expect ribeye steaks every day. Don't expect surf and turf every day. This is the type of food we have. This is what we are willing to give you. This is the amount of food we are willing to share. That's not mean that's, I don't know if the word would be logistics, but that's just planning. Because especially if food is finite, if you have limited amount of food, and food is almost always finite unless you could, grow food in perpetuity as far as gardening and saving seeds, depending on the scenario. You have livestock that you could breed. There are certain situations where you might be able to have food for the foreseeable future. Rations might be something to discuss. Safety. Well, Uncle Johnny might have to be night watch. might have to be day watch. Uncle Johnny might have to do perimeter checks. Uncle Johnny might have to do, and these are, folks, I'm talking about all different types of scenarios. There's different types of scenarios. And these could be from common, everyday kind of occurrences to real serious SHTF kind of stuff. Uncle Johnny might have to pitch in when it comes to security. Uncle Johnny might have to work in the fields. And if he wants to eat, well, he's going to have to work. Maybe that's your rule. Uncle Johnny will have to work however many hours a day in one way or another, in the garden, taking care of livestock, whatever. Those are some examples. And draw those lines in the sand. Now, those conversations should be had with family members that you don't live with. Those conversations should be had with friends, all people you don't live with that you're connected to. Those conversations should be had with neighbors. Now, I recommend not letting everybody know how much you prep. Don't let people know the things you have. Don't let people know all your plans. Only you and your family, the people in your home, should know your plans and know exactly what you have. But people will know, and there's to a certain degree. If somebody's been in your house and they've been in your pantry because they're fixing the hot water heater and that's where your pantry is, or whatever the situation, they saw a bunch of food, they might know you have something. You might have shared some information at some point in time. They might have seen a package show up. They might see the generator in your garage. They might see you have solar panels. They might know you have lots of livestock. It doesn't take, Sherlock Holmes to figure out that some people are preppers. And you might volunteer that information. Just be careful what information you share and to whom you share that information with. So have those conversations. Have specific conversations. And don't leave it up in the air. And it's okay, just like any tough love conversation, to end the conversation well. Listen, Uncle Johnny, I love you. I care about you. I want you to take care of yourself and prep. I'm more than willing to maybe give you some seeds to help you get started. More than willing to give you a safety tool. I'm more than willing to help train you, teach you skills, to give you different resources. But, it's going to be difficult for us to just take care of you. Or if Uncle Johnny is welcome to your home, have that conversation. And then however the conversation ends, end it with love. Uncle Johnny, no matter what happens, this is not, these rules exist not because, I don't love you, but they exist because, God first and foremost, and after that, my family, And if Uncle Johnny does love you and care about you, hopefully Uncle Johnny will understand. And I assume Uncle Johnny, if he has any family, will take care of his family. Now, many of you might be up in arms, might be all upset, like, oh, that's horrible. He would abandon his family members, this and that. Folks, I don't know how else to explain this any other way. This is reality. This is reality. Everybody has a responsibility to take care of themselves. And proper planning prevents poor performance. And, the best thing you could do is talk to your friends and family and motivate them. Please check out one of our previous videos where I talk about how we don't want hungry neighbors. We do not want hungry neighbors. I want all of our neighbors to be preppers. I want all of our neighbors to be as self-sufficient as possible, because hungry neighbors can create problems. Thirsty neighbors can create problems. Seriously. And I'm just telling you, this is one of those things that I think is so overlooked and not talked about enough. Rarely. I assume I've heard a person or people talk about it at one point or another, but extremely rare maybe. And it should be at the top of every prepper's lists. I'm talking like when you're done watching this video, call your uncles, call your cousins, let your neighbors know what's up. Let them know what's up. Hey, here's the rules. This is happening in the world, this and this. If something bad happens, we've got a cabin you can stay at. You can stay in a tent on our property. We've got a little extra food, a little extra water. We can help you. Let them know what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, and what the rules are. This way, they can't claim ignorance in the future. And, I'm not trying to be fatalistic or deterministic or pessimistic or anything like that. These are the tough adult conversations that people really, really should be having. And just to keep it real with you folks, which you should already know, I do keep it real. I am definitely not going to help people that mock us for prepping. There's going to be a lot of people, in my opinion, that have mocked preppers and made fun of preppers and called them stupid and said they're paranoid and fear-mongering and this and that. That will be really, really, really desperate and might not make it. And there's going to come a point in time where, if they haven't already, because a lot of people have definitely a lot of people have definitely woke up in the past few years, for sure, when it comes to emergency preparedness. And people are waking up every day. But a lot of people are still asleep, and a lot of people, because they don't understand the lifestyle of prepping, like, what people do when they don't understand many things, is they just want to mock it. They want to vilify it. And, take their turns, with their jabs. But let me tell you, those people might not make it. And I'm not talking about stuff that, read a history book. History books are full of history. And any student of history will let you know that things happen. They always have, they always will. And the people who had a higher chance of success in the sense of survival were people who thought ahead. And there's certain things you can't prepare for and certain things you can't do, but you make those decisions. If Uncle Johnny wants to sit on his front steps and smoke weed and drink 40 ounces of beer all day and just watch sports and play video games while you're out there grinding, hustling, pinching your pennies, buying extra food, buying extra water, studying ad nauseum everything you can when it comes to prepping, you don't owe Uncle Johnny anything except the opportunity, a handout in a sense of the encouragement, the education, and maybe whatever help you're willing to give. I do recommend stockpiling some extra stuff, or putting to side, that could be a negative word, putting this to the side some extra stuff, some water, some food, some supplies for people that, just strangers you don't even know, to help them. It is all about helping people, but don't help people if it puts you and your family in danger. For me, sure, my life matters, but my wife and our children, their lives matter more to me than my life. So if my life is in danger, so be it. But I will not let anybody put my wife's life in danger, and I will not let anybody put our children's lives in danger. Not going to happen. So that does not mean I'm going to take food out of our family's mouths. Water that we could drink, our resources, and give it to others who aren't doing the things. Definitely not giving it to people who mock preppers. So, I just wanted to touch base with you folks and really have that conversation with you. And I do hope that you have those conversations with people, actual, real conversations, and be as thorough as possible, be as detailed as possible, and come up with some fair rules and guidelines that you think, what's fair? It's your house, your property, your stuff, your skills. It's whatever you think is fair, really. At the same time, try to be compassionate, try to be generous, try to be giving, and try to be willing to help people. I hope you're all well. And first of all, if you folks have ever been met with the statement, I'll just go to your house, I'll just show up, you've got plenty of stuff, you'll take care of me. If you've been met with those types of statements, let me know in the comments below. And if you have had some of these hard conversations with people, these tough conversations, please let me know in the comments below. Let's learn from one another. I hope you folks don't take this video to be mean. I don't try to be a mean person. I try to be just straight up with people. And I hope you're all well. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. And if you'd be so kind, we do have a Buy Me a Coffee link on our homepage. If you want to support the channel, if you found this to be valuable and you feel that this could, this could encourage you, or push you, motivate you rather, to do something that could save, a member of your family's life, then maybe that's worth a donation. If you found something that definitely encouraged you to think, maybe that's worth a donation. It's up to you. Every little bit helps our family, helps push the YouTube channel forward, and gives us the opportunity to keep sharing information with you folks, keep sharing our thoughts. Hope you're all well. Take care.